FM and online at cpr.org. Colorado Public Radio News.
Support comes from the Center for Out-of-Court Divorce, serving families who are ending a partnership or marriage. Divorce doesn't have to divide your family. Learn more at centerforoutofcourtdivorce.org. Support for Colorado Public Radio comes from Citywide Banks, a Denver-based bank focused on the lending and banking needs of Colorado companies. More at citywidebanks.com. Member FDIC.
Support comes from the American Diabetes Association, presenting the Tour de Cure Colorado on September 24th at Salisbury Park in Parker. Ride, run, or walk together to fight diabetes. Learn more at diabetes.org/Colorado Tour de Cure.
I'm speaking in front of 15 and 20,000 people, and I'm up there using a lot of motion. I guess in its own way, it's a pretty healthy act.
Donald Trump's definition of exercise and other insights into the Republican candidate's health.
For Thursday, September 15th, this is All Things Considered.
I'm Ari Shapiro.
And I'm Kelly McEvers. Trump talked about his health with Dr. Oz.
We'll ask whether someone can be a responsible physician and a compelling TV entertainer.
There just needs to be a much more balanced presentation of information to the public, and I think a lot of people are hungry for that and would accept it. Would that increase his ratings? Probably not.
Also, libraries plan to celebrate Banned Book Week with scavenger hunts.
So you want to pick up a book that says smut on the cover, and you open it and you see that it's Catcher in the Rye.
And later, a campaign to get you to stream a song to save Nellie.
We'll explain after the news.
Live from NPR News in Washington, I'm Jack Spear. Republican presidential hopeful Donald Trump says his plan to cut taxes and roll back regulation would accelerate economic growth to levels rarely seen in this century. Scott Horsley reports Trump is counting on rapid economic growth to prevent an explosion in the federal deficit.
Donald Trump says he's confident he can boost economic growth to 3.5% or 4%, adding some 25 million jobs over the next decade. Trump was characteristically bold in touting his plan to the New York Economic Club.
This is the most pro-growth, pro-jobs, pro-family plan put forth, perhaps, in the history of our country.
Trump added new details to his tax plan, which could make it less attractive to wealthy taxpayers because he's capping deductions. Trump insists he can cut taxes sharply without boosting the deficit, but a fiscal watchdog says that's based on overly rosy assumptions. Scott Horsley, NPR News.
After being briefly sidelined by a bout with pneumonia, Hillary Clinton is back out on the campaign trail today. Democratic presidential contender speaking at an event in Greensboro, North Carolina. Clinton made no apologies for keeping her diagnosis from the public initially, but had been resting after becoming dizzy and dehydrated at a 9/11 memorial event this past weekend in New York. She was diagnosed with pneumonia last Friday. Attorneys for the family of Sandra Bland say they've reached a settlement in their wrongful death lawsuit against Waller County, Texas. Bland was a 28-year-old civil rights activist who landed in jail after a confrontation with a state trooper. A few days later, she was dead. From Houston Public Media, Andrew Snyder has the story.
Attorney Cameron Lambert says that under the settlement, Bland's family will receive $1.9 million. The deal also requires Waller County to have a nurse or an EMT at the jail during all shifts. Last year, Bland was arrested during a traffic stop. She was found hanged in her cell in a Waller County jail 3 days later. The death was ruled a suicide. The county's attorney, Larry Simmons, has released a statement saying the settlement is not final and that the parties are still working through the details. For NPR News, I'm Andrew Schneider in Houston.
The Consumer Product Safety Commission is out with a major recall involving around 1 million Samsung Galaxy Note 7 phones. According to the agency, roughly 97% of the phones in the U.S. have potentially problematic batteries, in some cases resulting in fires or explosions. Elliot Cage, chairman of the Consumer Product Safety Commission.
This recall provides you with two options. You can either get a replacement phone or you can get a refund. It is the choice of the customer and the customer's choice alone.
The company began a voluntary global recall of millions of Galaxy Note 7 phones earlier this month. Stocks gained ground on Wall Street today. The Dow up 177 points to 18,212. The Nasdaq rose 75 points. You're listening to NPR.
Support for NPR comes from NPR member stations and from the Gilchrist Foundation, supporting NPR's enduring commitment